Numbers 1 through 7. The first words of the fourth book of the Bible are, again, kind of mid-sentence. And God spoke to Moses in the wilderness. In fact, the Hebrew title of this book is simply In the Wilderness. So no natural break. We're continuing the story of Israel. What the book turns out to be is a 38-year diary, really, of the early history of Israel, the earliest history of Israel, as they go from Mount Sinai to the River Jordan, where they will finally be ready to enter Canaan. The book is full of a lot of miscellaneous laws and some interesting narratives that will come across. Let's talk about those laws, actually, this time, because from Numbers 1 through 7, our reading today, we had several examples of where we're wondering this question. Think of the Nazirite vow in Numbers 6. Is that a cultural law meant to be kept only for Israel? Or is that an example of what we would call a transcultural law, something to transcend all time? It's often a question of the Christian today. How do I take these laws like this and apply them to myself? And so this is often how we depict the problem. Well, not to solve the problem, but to put it maybe in a little different light, something that I do that I find a little easier to think through would be three ideas. And let me use the illustration of a play. Let's say I'm part of a play, and I'm only in the fourth act of a 5-act play. So I'm standing in the back, in the wings, and I have my script, and I'm practicing my lines, and I'm listening to the earlier characters in the play go through their lines. What I would do in that illustration is simply listen and even enjoy what they're saying. I might laugh along with the audience on how the play is progressing. Now, why are they saying exactly what they're saying? I don't know. That's between them and the screenwriter. I wasn't even part of that rehearsal when the director asked them to do things certain ways. What I am responsible to do, and I should have done this, of course, before I'm standing there, is that I should have read through the entire play and understand the largest story of all, the big story, let's call it. And then, so when it's time for me, I am again simply waiting in the back, but then I will at one point walk out and deliver my lines. But notice the way the illustration works. I still may not understand why someone said something earlier, but I'm not responsible to that, and neither do I need to understand it. What I do need to do is deliver my lines in accordance with the big story. So that's what I'd recommend as a way of illustration. With the Nazirite vow, I don't know why someone would actually take the vow. I can read in the text as to what the vow included, but why would someone take a Nazirite vow? Scholarship has never come to answer that question. And so when it comes to the mental energy that we spend in reading the Bible and applying the Bible to our life, this is how I think of it. I'm looking, and this does take still a lot of work, and none of us have figured this out totally, right? But as we expend our energy on the Bible, always be asking, so what's the larger story about? And then when it comes time for us to deliver our lines, we do it right in line, that it rings true with the big story of the Bible.